So hi, good evening and welcome to the IBD Ostomy Support Show. Tonight we have Richard, aka Got the Stick, joining us. We have Steffi, she's back for one night only. She will be back at a later date, but just for tonight. We are waiting for Natalie to sign on. She's just currently filing her uni assignment.
Cool.
So this week, what are we covering? Okay, we are covering the good old debate of to name or not to name your stoma. It's not the first time we've done this. This is the second time. So that should be fun and dandy. I've had a couple of polls going out. Do you know what? A lot of people do name their stomas. I know it seems weird, but I'll go into that later. So what have I been doing the last week? Okay, I've been to IKEA and back. I have done flat pack furniture, and let me tell you now, I absolutely hate flat pack furniture. But as you can see, I now have my desk in my bedroom. I have new furniture, and I have pretty walls. I won't even mention how long it took me to hang that wallpaper because I had to do it around a window, and it was a bit of a git. I've been really busy with work. I've also started guest blogging for Talk Health, so I'll be having a post with them going up roughly once a month, as well as my own blog, which is weekly. And I only had the interview yesterday. They posted my first post today, so that was a bit of a shock when that went live. I was like, ooh. Other than that, I've caught the kiddie germs again. I've got the sniffles today. I'll be perfectly honest. Ben sent me to bed at about 4 o'clock and told me to go and have a nap because I look like hell. I've got nice big bags, and I've got my MRI next week. It's Ben's birthday on Monday, so it's my cheat day Saturday. I'm going out for Thai, and I can't bloody wait. Only carbs when you're doing a hit. I'll let you in for a funny story. I made turkey cannelloni last night. So I made the cannelloni. I spent 40 minutes prepping it, putting the gits, stuffing the tubes, putting it all in the oven, did my hit, took it out after the instructions. It said cook for 40 minutes. I cooked for 40 minutes to 160 degrees in a preheated fan oven. It's freaking al dente. So I did not have carbs last night, and by 6:10 I was in the bedroom raging and sorting out all the washing.
Can you not do al dente pasta then?
I won't eat al dente pasta. I don't like the taste of it.
Oh, it's not a stoma thing. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah, just a personal preference. It has to be.
I'm with you on that one.
It has to be squishy. It has to be a little bit squishy.
No.
So
I've got
last night for tea, I had turkey and basil with spinach, some tomatoes, and I was really bad, and I had some red onion in it. However, good news, I didn't get a blockage, and it all passed absolutely fine. Garlic, however, I will not mention the stench that emanated from my bathroom this morning because it was disgusting. Garlic in a stoma is not a good idea. But I got my sample of Happy Flush Through yesterday, and I've got the lime one. It's really good.
It's nice, and I got the lime one. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's really good. And oh yeah, I've changed my hair colour again because you know what I'm like. I think the last year you guys have seen me change my hair colour more times than what people change the stoma bags. But I will pass you over to Steffi because she's back for this evening as well.
Yay! Hi, I'm Steffi at Colitis Ostomy. I've had a bit of a sabbatical due to very poor mental health. At some points, extremely poor. I'm now under a care coordinator and being scheduled for talking therapy, including DBT, because CBT does not work for me at all. And I'd lost just over half a stone in a week from eating properly and stuff. And then the new tablets they gave me, put it all back on again. And the psychiatrist was like, "Hey, you're right, your appetite will increase." I'm like, I'm terrified of that. You are aware of the body dysmorphia that the psychologist has written down and stuff. And they're like, "Well, just eat more salad and exercise more." I'm like, I have a stoma. Yes, I do eat salad, but I still got to be careful with it. So that sent my ED into a bit of a panic meltdown. I've been to Cornwall. I'm now Jasmine Stacey collection blogger. What the hell else have I done? Oh, it's my birthday tomorrow. So we're gonna be childless, I think, and go to the cinema maybe.
Yeah, it's your birthday tomorrow, isn't it? Because it's Ben's on
Monday.
Yeah, Ben's on Monday.
Yeah. All the best people are born in January.
September, I'll have you know.
No, actually, but you know.
But yeah, so I've started a new series on my blog called Time to Talk Tuesdays, where each week I will talk about a different aspect of mental health that I've experienced and how it's affected me, which might be completely different to how someone else has experienced it, but it might help someone find the words to describe how they're feeling. They might be able to relate, or they might be able to go, "Oh my God, that's completely different to what I've dealt with." But it's helping me work through some of my issues. I have a job interview on the 5th because I've now officially been made redundant from my previous employment. Everyone else got made redundant in August. So hopefully I'll get this job and I won't be jobless, because I hate that. I hate not having a job and not being able to work. Mainly because I like having my own money, because I waste money faster than it appears in my bank account. But anyway, Jacob can roll over now. He's eating everything. He's such a Yorkshireman because he is massively into his roast dinners, gravy and Yorkshire puddings being his favourite.
Oh, bless him.
And Lyra Beth is just a normal 4-year-old little girl, and Louise will understand what that is completely.
Maisie's hormonal. Maisie's hormonal.
Oh, bless her.
No, not bless her. Not bless her. Mummy has a lot of patience, but Mummy's patience is wearing very thin.
So I will pass you over to Richard.
Oh, thank you very much. So, yeah, so the last week has been busy. I was going into work on Friday morning, and suddenly my bag started to fill really quickly, and I was like, oh, this is the beginning of a stomach bug. And my little boy had been sick earlier in the week, so he had 2 days off nursery, so I wondered if it was that. And that continued all through Friday and Saturday as well. So Saturday I slept quite a lot, made myself up a jug of St. Mark's solution and slowly sipped on that, and didn't drink a lot else.
How could you drink that? How could you drink it? It's vile.
It is vile, but it's like I see it as like the lesser of two evils, because if I don't drink it, either I have to drink Diorolite, which
I'd rather Diorolite.
I'd rather Diorolite.
Yeah, but Diorolite's quite expensive as well, and I mean I've still got the stuff from when I was in St. Mark's, which they prescribed to me to make up the St. Mark's solution. So it's just, I don't think it's that bad. It's better if you keep it in the fridge, and you can add some lemon or some lime juice or something like that, and it's palatable. It's all right. It's not too bad. I've had worse things.
As long as you were able to drink it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So anyway, so that was kind of and then Sunday I woke up and had started to get the cold that has been going around. So I've been kind of sipping up to try and avoid that.
Yeah, that's not been nice going around with the sniffles. I've had it for the last week, and it is the bane of my life at the moment. When you go to bed of a night time and you can't breathe properly. I've actually been having eucalyptus going in the old air diffuser to try and unbung me.
Yeah, we have moved, because Donna's had it as well, but we have moved the Cowpole plug-in from Jonah's room to our room. So that's been, we're like, yeah, we're having that. That's been helping us. And apparently it means I don't snore either, which is an added bonus.
Did you know? I don't know if you have B&M down south.
We do, yeah.
You can get like vapor candles for like 49p. Stephen literally buys them by the tray.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, and like if you have it setting like going for a little bit before you go to bed, it's pretty good, and it lasts a few days as well.
Okay, I might check those out, because I know we've got one somewhere around here. So,
Richard, how was you changing your bag with the stomach bug? Because I find that is when it just sets everything into bloody.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, because it did actually, like, I used the Brava flange extenders.
Yeah. So
I didn't actually have a leak, but it was going, like I could see it like creeping underneath. But once again, the Brava extenders were like saving the bed sheet, so that was good. In the end, I just had to kind of get everything ready and just go for it. And because on the Saturday I hadn't eaten a lot, because when it first started I was worried it might be a partial blockage, so I kind of didn't eat a lot. So I just kind of did it at my normal change time. So I change after the shower in the morning before breakfast. So I just kind of got everything ready and just went for it, and actually it was fine. And it was I had to change it, so I think I changed it Friday. Had I changed it Friday morning? I think I ended up changing it, I think, Saturday and Sunday, which is quite unusual just because there was that much liquid that it was kind of seeping out a bit. But yeah, it didn't actually leak. So yeah, so that was okay. And then after that, I changed it again this morning. And actually, this morning was worse because last night was takeaway pizza night, and that always, yeah. You were speaking about garlic. That was a common theme, I think.
Yeah, mine's awful, but I will not give up the garlic. I will not do it.
Oh no, I would never give up the garlic, but you know, you just have to be aware.
I gave up seafood though.
Did you?
Because I could, in my head, I could still smell it, even though I hadn't
I don't care how many people complain in this house, or any of my friends that complain. I am not giving up seafood. They can do one.
Well,
so if there was someone you didn't like, you would basically maybe have like garlic prawns or
deliver a ton's worth of Stoma output in a drop truck to the driveway.
Yeah,
just load.
not Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before. It was my first Christmas with the Stoma, and my dad always makes in our house we call it prawns and pink sauce, because it's like a take on like the Marie rolls. It's not actually, because we have it like with burgers and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I was doing a night shift, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be sick. I can't deal with this smell, and like it was horrible. I mean, being 3 months pregnant as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously, well, you could probably relate because your wife will have gone through, morning sickness at one point, or the smell of something being like horrific. So it used to just be red meat, and then just I haven't dared to go back. Oh no, I lie. I had some fish and chips from the chippy when I was a few months further along with Jacob, and I was on days, and I went and I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm never having seafood again. Ever.
Wow.
And I haven't had any seafood since at all, because it's like I can change my bag entirely, and then it's in my head. I'm still like, I can smell it, and it's revolting. It's horrible.
I need Nat here with me this evening, because I know neither of you two have a name for your stoma, so I'm pretty much a piggy in the middle at the moment.
Well, it's funny. I don't, but my wife named my stoma at one point because she wanted something to refer to it as. So she called it Hugo for a while. Don't know why, but that was her thing. And she'd just be like, "Oh, how's Hugo?" And this was like post-op and stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, he's fine." But then it seems to have kind of dropped now. So, and I don't know if that's because we didn't want to. I don't know if it was a conscious thing, but so Jonah has never known that my stoma has a name. So,
do you not think though, mentally and with people going through it, whether it be a planned operation or emergency, do you think that naming the stoma helps them come to terms with it?
I think I remember naming my first stoma, which was formed like after my emergency operation, and I think that did kind of help me accept it. But with this stoma, which is my third, I haven't named it, and I don't feel a need to now. But I can absolutely see why people would do it, to kind of help with acceptance. And you hear about sometimes people maybe name their cancer, or all kinds of things. So I think it's really whatever helps you. So yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. It's just something that I haven't done.
I'm not going to name my arm. I'm not going to name. I don't know if I got a breakout. I'm not going to name that. I don't need that that kind of attachment. It's my stoma. Stephen says that I refer to it in the third person a lot, apparently. I haven't heard myself do that, or not like being aware of myself do that. But then again, he's the one listening to me, not me. But I've just never ever seen the point. I remember my friend Louise being sat in the bed opposite me, and she had a stoma, and I was waiting for mine, and I just went, "Have you named yours?" And she went, "No. Why would I do that?" And she really did not. I don't. She's on a. She must be on a second one now, I think. But she hates it, so I don't think she'd want that attachment from any form. But I understand why people do, and I think if you do, then and it helps you, then why the hell not? My stoma was planned by me. I fought to get mine, so I didn't need a period of adjustment. I didn't need anything like that, and I still don't. Except it's driving me insane at the moment because I've had 3 leaks today. It just hates life. So that's me talking about in third person, listening to myself.
I can't say what I called my first one live on air because it was a lot of profanities. We might have been saying along the lines of "see you next Tuesday," with a C and not an S. That one. But the second one, I called it bad. But I think it just helped me with, coming to terms with it. I think more than anything else, because even though it was planned, it's still something that's there, and I can blame it for things. It's brilliant. 9 times out of 10 it is its fault, but I can blame Bertha for it. Some of the names, I mean, Graham said he wanted to call his Willy Wonka, but he was too worried about saying it the wrong way around. So Wonka Willy.
Yeah.
Somebody said they don't have a stoma, but if they do, they'll name it Roberto. Ashley's named his Gilbert. I think Gilbert's quite funny because I used to have a dog called Albert. Gilbert. Jamie said, "Go, hey, how's Mr. Shitter nowadays?" So that's what they've called Jamie's.
I think mine gets referred
great.
to as it. My family, I'm pretty sure, refer to it as my stoma as it.
Yeah, Ashley said when his stoma was new, he used to self-harm near it, so it helped him to name the stoma, so he didn't cause any more harm to those specific areas.
That's what I got confused for.
And Graham said naming his stoma has never crossed his mind, if he's honest, but it gets called a few other names when it works during changing, though. Yeah, we've all been there. It's nothing worse. So, along the, to name or not to name the stoma, along with the other thing, right? Your bag change routine.
Yeah.
So how difficult, and you guys know this because you're like me, you've got an ileostomy. How difficult is it to pinpoint a right time to change your ileostomy when it is not going off everywhere? Because you literally have like a slim
I don't have that window.
Time.
Because I eat predominantly vegetarian, I do not have that window.
Not even in the mornings when you first get up, once it's done what I call the morning brew bag.
No, because I eat a lot of insoluble fibre, it doesn't have and what's worse is I can feel it all the time, doing it all the time, constantly oh my god, have I leaked? Oh my god, and it starts pancaking out of nowhere.
All right.
So, and all of my own tips for pancaking don't seem to be working for me, maybe because I don't eat much meat. But
I mean, what about you, Richard? Do you find that changing in the mornings, because obviously everything's had a bit of a rest overnight, so after the initial bag and you've had a shower, do you find that time easy to change?
I would usually by sort of 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'd empty before I go to bed usually. And then by about 6 o'clock in the morning, it's usually ready to be emptied again. Sometimes that's kind of full. Sometimes that's some gas as well. So I would do that. And then generally, because I, need to get up for work, and certainly in the week, I would tend to get up, try and take my loperamide first thing. So I take loperamide before every meal and before bed. So try and get that down in the shower, and then I don't know in my mind, and whether this is true or not, I think the kind of the heat of the shower just kind of causes it to kind of pause briefly. I don't know.
Mine does do it less in the shower. I generally
Yeah.
change mine in the shower. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I would kind of come out, and then it's like cut the template, everything. The way I do it, I lay everything out on the bed, and then it's like, and then.
Do you not have the template cut beforehand?
So the template's cut, but I tend not to do that before I go in the shower. No, so I get like I get like 15 minutes maybe, which is long enough to kind of get out of the shower, maybe slip just some underwear on, and then do that, and then it's done.
I mean, because Graham's asking, does anyone find when they wake up their bag fills up quickly after they do the first empty of the morning?
Yeah.
I can honestly say mine doesn't.
Sometimes.
Mine's normally, if I empty mine, I tend to empty mine at about 6 in the morning, and then it's just before I go and do the school run that I have to empty again. So it's normally about a 2-hour leave between that and then having to empty again, which is literally a full bag, which I'm guessing is the stomach acid and whatever else is flushed through from the night before.
I've just thought of something that is completely irrelevant, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Mr. Harris is going to be in the Purple Wings calendar, and he's doing the shoot on Saturday. So I will get maybe Louise to find the link for his fundraising.
Richard, is that still open or is it closed?
No, I closed the fundraising page early, only because I was doing it through Just Giving, and Purple Wings aren't registered on there as a charity, so I had to do it as like a crowdfunding thing. So it was crowdfunding to pay for my place on the calendar, because there was a minimum donation.
You did really well with that though, Richard.
Yeah, I did actually. I was really pleased because it wasn't that long. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago that I was doing. When I was doing Walk It for Crohn's and Colitis UK, so I kind of felt like I'd hit my friends up like quite recently for something. So I think I got £170, which was cool. So that has, in fact, minus the fee from Just Giving, that has arrived in my bank account today, ready for me to have. Because what I wanted to be able to do was hand it over on Saturday when I go. So yeah.
I can't make it, even though because it's like with it being the day after my birthday, and because I picked I helped pick the guys.
You picked the boys, didn't you?
I did. I got to pick the boys.
So yeah, but yes, it is on Saturday. If anyone does still want to, would like to donate either via me or just in general, I'm sure that they would welcome any further donations just in general. Other people might still have their pages open. I know
if people have PayPal's accounts, you can send money. There is one that you don't have to charge for, but you can send it to accounts@purplewingscharity.com.
Okay.
And you can just put money for Richard or money for Mark or.
Yeah, because I think Colitis Cop is doing it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing it. If he's watching, he should totally bring some of his uniform, because that'd be really, really, really good for the calendar.
He's not allowed to, are they?
No, I didn't think so.
No.
But yeah, so.
Oh, what else? Oh yeah, we've all been added to the ping on the Purple Wings for the girls that are doing the catwalk show in March. Half the reason I went on a diet.
I told Paige I'd kill her if she didn't let me be a model. I was like, tell me, and she was like, so I can do teasers on the social media for Purple Wings, which I do apologise I haven't kept up to date with, because obviously mental health, etc. I was like, let me be a model. I want to be a model. And she's like, okay. It's like, win.
I keep meaning to ask you, actually, which is the right Twitter account for Purple Wings, because there are two.
PW_charity.
Okay.
Because whoever ran the first one can't remember the logins, so I just set up a new one.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So actually, so I've been and had my hair cut, ready for that, and then washed my jeans. That's about it. I
was going to say something else. Sorry.
What did you think I was going to say?
Don't worry.
She was just being crude.
I was just being crude. I think my brain is in the gutter. I do apologise.
Yeah. yeah, so yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it actually, and just spending some time with some other male ostomates, and yeah, hopefully having some fun and putting the kind of thing. I've got no idea like what if there's like how it's gonna work. It's not something I've ever done before, but it was nice to be asked as well.
You'll get your dinner. You'll get your dinner done as well. Like the girls got wined and like not wined and dined because we didn't get alcohol, but like we got dined. We had and pampered because we bought a ticket rather than had like the fundraising.
Yeah.
So it was done very separate, very differently.
Yeah.
But you're gonna write a blog post, aren't you, on the day?
I will, yeah. I mean, I'll take some photos and stuff, and I'll definitely write it up. I've been a bit remiss with my blogging because work has been really, really busy, and yeah, just other things going on. But yeah, I've got a few blogs in the pipeline for the near future. Ideally, I would love to go once a week, but I'm not sure that that's achievable. So I need to
it is a lot of upkeep. All of us can say it is a mission.
Yeah. But it's like monthly feels too infrequent. So yeah. I don't know.
One blog I write for I do monthly, another one I do weekly. Mine I do 2 to 3 times a week. Another one I do every fortnight. But I currently don't have a day job, so it's easier for me to do that.
Yeah. So I do need to make it more regular though, is the thing, and also to use the social media to kind of promote the stuff that's been done recently, which I'm not always very good at.
No, it's a bit of a balancing game because you don't want to upset people by posting too much, if that makes any sense. It's a bit of a
That's the beauty of Twitter, because the feed moves that fast. You can post it multiple times, and people are only really going to know if they're like constantly following you, or they don't have a lot of people.
Yeah. That's true. And actually, I was going to do a blog because last week, on the 19th, it was 2 years since my last big surgery, which was my pouch excision and removal of rectum and anus, and the wound still hasn't quite healed. Not that I'm bitter or twisted or anything. And I was like, I was going to do a blog post, and then I was really tired. I was like, I can't be bothered. So I started writing just a thing on my Facebook page. On the Gut the Stick Facebook page, and then it just got longer and longer and longer. I was like, actually, that's pretty much a blog post. So I just posted it on there, and thought,
Richard, couldn't you do a comparison, or is it because you've been going through the open wound management as long as what you have? Could you not do like a not so much of a detail post, but the difference of machines that you've been through? Because I'm guessing you've taken pictures as you've gone through the process.
Yeah, and I've done when I've been on them, I've often done like, this is the new machine, and and then a bit later there'll be and that has worked or that hasn't worked. But yeah, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 different negative pressure therapy like technique, like devices, and it's hard to know though. Like the one that I was on most recently worked really, really well, but that's not to say that the others weren't good at the time for what they, and
they just weren't right for you. They were probably really good for other people, just not.
Well, yeah, I just can't get over the size of the vac machine that you had when you come out with us, because I remember it being
one. Yeah, that was the Snap.
Yeah, I remember them being pretty big and bulky, and the size of the machines has come along so far in the last 9 years. I used to have to go up something that was that by about that with a massive great big tube attached to it, and now you've got this tiny little thing that's smaller than a mobile phone.
Yeah, I mean, and the Snap was the one which has worked really, really well for me at the end, and I think that was about the seal, because one of the benefits of that is that it's a hydrocolloid kind of dressing, so a bit like a stoma bag. So where that wound is, it's adhered a lot better. Rather than the the kind of the standard vac ones, which when you're like right in the cleft of the buttocks and you get all that movement, if you're like walking about or whatever, if you're not laying in a hospital bed, it just doesn't stick, basically.
I mean, you were saying about the St. Mark's solution. I'd rather drink MRI prep, and I've got to drink that on Wednesday than drink St Mark's, and that's saying so.
Oh, I've got to have some of that in the next few weeks as well for a pelvic MRI.
Yeah, I'm going for a small bowel MRI, so that should be fun and dandy. Let's see what's going on inside.
I'm never really sure, and it's a shame actually, because Rachel would probably know, but I'm never sure, like, because I had an MRI recently just to check that there's no cavity like behind where this wound has started to heal. But I had that with contrast, but it was just a contrast injection rather than having to drink the prep. So I'm not sure, like, when you need the prep versus when you need the contrast, or is that just something that Bristol do differently to somewhere else?
I think the reason why they give me the prep with the contrast in it is because I've got Crohn's all the way through.
Yeah,
they're checking for fistulas, and they're also checking for inflammation, which is why I have to have the drink rather than just the contrast diet, because I'm not just going in for something just to highlight something up. I'm going in to actually have the whole lot checked.
Yeah. So maybe it's about the extent of what they're looking for.
I'm not looking forward to it.
I don't know how they're going to do my MRI, because I've only ever had it for small bowel.
But I'm trying to work it out, because the amount that they give me to drink and how quick my stoma flush is, they are probably most likely going to end up with an MRI machine covered in Bertha, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I know if I drink a glass of water, I can time and it's out within 20 minutes. So I don't know how that's going to stay in, to be fair.
And it's funny as well, because I remember, what was I going for? I was going for I suppose it was a pouchoscopy rather than a colonoscopy. And I've been given this standard leaflet, which basically said for 24 hours before I had to go on liquid diet. And I was a bit like, well, that's not great, but okay, I'll do that. And so I did that. And then when I saw the consultant who is an IBD specialist, I said, it seems a bit weird that I had to do this liquid diet. And he was like, oh yeah, that's rubbish for people with a pouch. That, so sometimes you just get like a standard.
Did you not have a Flexi Sig? Because when I had my pouch, that's what I had, was Flexi Sigs.
Do you know, I can't remember. I can't remember now what it was, because it was a few years ago now. I had a number of Flexi Sigs. This was in the endoscopy suite rather than just in a clinic. So yeah, it may have been, but I remember it was in HD, whatever it was. There's like a big screen on the wall and stuff. But they've come a long way since I started being ill.
Yeah, I remember seeing my colitis in my colon just on this tiny little screen. Yeah. And then seeing the pouchitis on a bigger screen, more HD, and then like in the colposcopy departments where they look at your cervix and stuff, it's even more like impressive. So like I've seen my cervix in high def when they got rid of the pre-cancer cells. It was insane.
Yeah. I'm just laughing. Graham's just turned around and said Pickalax is quite nice. Where are your taste buds, mister?
I can't have that. I can't have that. That actually, the second it goes near my mouth, I throw up. Clean Prep, Movicol, Pickalax. I can't have any of it at all.
Right.
Because the minute they give me anti-sickness or anything, and then I throw up regardless. They've put it through NG tubes, and no, I can't do it. I cannot. So
I can't believe
glad
he
that I don't
said
have it
about
anymore.
Pickalax. It's not that. Come off it. Our extended history with colonoscopies, gastrocopies, and endoscopies. Oh man, what was the old one that they used to give you, and you literally had to lock it up with 2 liters of water and have to down it in the space of like 45 minutes? Was it the Clean Prep?
Clean Prep. Yeah, because that's what they used to give me on an NG tube.
Yeah,
I remember I remember being in hospital and they're like pouring it down and down the tube and stuff, and then because I used to chuck it out the window, and I got caught. I was like 14.
Yeah, but how bad is Clean
Prep? And then
my
mum carried me from my bed in the ward, literally down the corridor to the toilet, and that was it. Like, it's horrible. And I had chronic constipation. Like, all these people that are like saying that have
constipation issues.
constipation
Go and ask your
and I'm like,
for a bit of clean prep that suits all you out.
But it doesn't always work. It depends how bad. Like I went, I used to date an osteopath, and I remember before we started dating, he was doing whatever they do to your muscles in your back and stuff, and he was like, "Oh my god, how constipating!" I'm like, "You can tell that from just pressing my back. That's pretty bad."
Yeah.
So.
Oh, clean prep's disgusting. That's the only one that's ever made me literally have to sit on the toilet with a bucket because I'm being sick and going to the toilet.
Rara had to have Movicol because she had the pediatric constipation, and I thought my heart went out for it every time I had to give her Movicol. I was like, oh, how horrible it is.
The other one now, the Movicol and the other one, that's not as harsh on your system as the clean prep because the Movicol is try that. That's the one that they give you with the Senecot, isn't it? They give you one with 4 tablets of Senna, which you have to take prior to drinking it, and it's literally.
I couldn't tell you. I've been given everything from syrup of figs to made to have dates, and I've literally had everything you can possibly think of for constipation.
It's literally mixed up in a glass that's like this. You only have to drink 3 of these, I think it is, in the 12-hour period prior to having your not sigmoidoscopy, but colonoscopy or gastroscopy. It's
very similar to the way you make up the Maxijul before your surgery, which is the calorie drink.
Everyone's going on here clean prep.
I remember when I had clean prep, like before my first colonoscopy, which was like before my diagnosis, and kind of read the leaflet. It was like, oh, we advise you to, take the day off work, or be at home when you take it. So I was like, I took the day off work. I think my appointment was in like 2:00 in the afternoon or something, and I think when I had it, you had like 1 sachet the night before, and then you had another one like, I don't know, a few hours before or whatever. And I remember just kind of I'd taken it and it was fine, and then I took the next one and kind of nothing was out, and then I'm sitting at home playing on the Xbox, and then just all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay. And just literally ran to the toilet and did not leave the toilet then for some time. And for about an hour, it was just.
I think all tips would be for those of you taking clean prep, Movicol, anything that is for a colonoscopy, endoscopy, or gastroscopy. You might want to stick the toilet roll in the freezer half hour prior to taking it, and you might also want to get some barrier cream for your bottom as well if you don't have a stoma. I don't think that would be the best advice that one can give with regards.
It's not often they give you laxative if you have a stoma now, though.
No, they don't. You just fast.
It's very rare. And
not
somebody wants.
Anyway.
I think I saw a GP out of hours. They were like, "Oh, we'll give you this." I'm like, "No, you won't."
Yeah.
Why? Oh, I've got an reaction. I'm like, I just read that, and I don't understand why that even came out of my mouth. But like the amount of people that get it, and then it's essentially like they're having a tummy bug. It's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a big baby. If I go for a flexi, I ask to be sedated. I'm not having gas and air. Just knock me out.
I had gas and air on the last one. They wouldn't. But it was they were trying to send me home from hospital. They were like, "Oh, we've made a telephone diagnosis that you have pouchitis," and I was like, "What? How can you make a telephone diagnosis just on the fact that I've told you I think I have this?" And they're like, "Well, we're going to send you home today." And then I happened to see a junior doctor, and he was like my saving grace, that guy. And he was just like, how can you have a telephone diagnosis? It's like, I'm not fully qualified and I know that. He's like,
you
so
need
he
a
like
biopsy.
he rushed me down for flexi sig, and they're like, we don't even need to take anything. We can see that you definitely have. And then I had to fight to get my stoma anyway because they wanted to just give me a temporary one. I'm like, why? My pouch was inflamed by an inch and full of pus, and it was like the lining was just horrific. So my surgeon's like, nah, we're taking it out.
Oh, it's like Jack's just said he can't have any camera tests without sedation. He can't handle it. I'll tell you what, mate, hats off to you, sedation all the way. I can say that now. But it's mainly because I've still got some of my large bowel in there. I had fissures before having the op, and because I've got the diversion colitis that comes and goes, that's still opening up the fissures because stuff is still passing through it because the fissures were quite deep. Yeah, stuff having a flexi up there, just flexi with gas in there.
I remember I used to fancy my IBD consultant. The last one I had before having my pouch. He was absolutely gorgeous and I loved him. And he was doing a colonoscopy one day, and he'd already given me the sedation, but because I was trying to talk to him, not flirt because that would have been so wrong on every level, but just chat to him, he ended up making me laugh, and the camera jabbed into the side of my colon because I moved from laughing, and he obviously couldn't control the camera that far in. And after that I was like, please sedate me, please just knock me out, put me under, because that was just horrifying. And I used to miss appointments. I think I would have ended up having a stoma sooner if I'd actually turned up to appointments when I was supposed to have had them.
So Richard,
but one time they turned around, they started doing the segregated ward, so I couldn't have Stephen sat in with me, like not in the room but like waiting. He had to go sit in the waiting room while I was on the ward, and I was like, so then I walked out of that one. And then when my sister decided she was going to come with me, we got the day wrong, so I missed it again. So but I don't think it's fair if your support is your partner, then sit in the waiting room. Just let them sit in the waiting room until they're needed, because it's not like the patient sitting in the waiting room. I mean, because it's not fair. Because some of them are terrifying that you go through, especially if you've never had a camera. The first time I had when I was 12, maybe, they put me under GA. And I just remember screaming for my mum. I remember waking up and just screaming for my mum. So, and even as adults, it's terrifying. They should offer you sedation regardless. That's my hair. But did you have, like, with your pouch and stuff, Richard, did you ever want to just have sedation, or were you just like, yeah, whatever?
Well, I didn't. I mean, I had a few exams under anaesthetic, which is like when, I think when they really want to get a proper look, and, when they need to like bend your legs behind your head and stuff so they can get where they want to get and stuff. So I had quite a few of those. But before they kind of diagnosed the issues in the rectal cup, I was having quite a lot of I think they were flexies. It was just in like a side room on the ward. So this was in my first hospital in Peterborough, and the consultant would he was really trying to help me out, because he would just kind of like say to me, like, come in at about 2:00 and you'll have to wait a bit, but I will just kind of come in and see you. So he was just doing it in a side room rather than me having to wait for a clinic appointment. So that was really, really good of him.
Well, a flexi is usually only 15 centimetres in anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, so it must have been flexi. But because of where the inflammation was, I don't think he could see it, because he kind of went into the pouch, and I was going to go, because it was really sore around the anastomosis and stuff. And so we couldn't see it properly. So it wasn't until I had the exam under anaesthetic that they properly could see that all of that lining in the rectum had just completely gone. So yeah, and then after that, that's when they decided I needed pouch advancement. So, but my pouch itself always looked really good.
What's pouch advancement?
So when they do an internal pouch now, they leave a bit more rectal. There we go, rectum than they used to, and they staple it because it means less time in the operation under anaesthetic and everything. When they first developed the operation, they used to have less rectum and hand stitch the pouch like really, really close to the bottom. So pouch advancement is when they kind of cut the pouch off, cut out as much rectum as they can, and then they hand stitch it. So I had to have that done I had that done at the London clinic with Professor Nichols, who was one of the team who developed the ileoanal pouch procedure in the first place. So Parks and Nichols kind of pioneered this approach. So yes, my consultant was like, I can't do it. You need to go to see this guy. So it's quite rare. I don't think they do a lot of them. And ultimately for me, I still had problems afterwards. So, was it worth it? I don't know. I think it was worth giving it a try, but you keep trying and trying and trying, and then eventually you find someone who says, no, your pouch has failed. You need to have it out. So,
See, my obstetrics consultant,
yeah.
but I saw him the other week. He was like, your pouch was a mess, and that had been what, I was 21 when I had my surgery. I was 26 when I had my daughter, so 5 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, your pouch is a mess, and then it didn't get removed until I was 29. And so like, apparently I was told that it's impressive if people's pouches last 2 years. Anything like, and there's people on Twitter that have had it for 20 years. Mine was 8 years, and I was told that it's really impressive if it lasts that long.
There seems to be real kind of mixed feeling about it, even from some consultants, and it
was my surgeon that told me that.
Yeah, so some surgeons are quite negative about it as well, because I think when they go bad, they can go really bad. So like, similar I suppose to you. So my pouch was formed in 2006, August 2006, like the pouch advancement, February 2007. My pouch was not excised until 2016. So I had it for 9 years, but maybe, well, there were problems even after the advancement. There were issues which was thought to be about the rectum, and it was thought to be still this kind of inflammation in the rectum, which some people refer to as cuffitis, and some people don't accept that as a term. So that's a bit weird. So that's then when I was having the infliximab, and then all the prednisolone, the predfoam enemas, ultimately the Humira, but it still wasn't settling it down. So trying all these different things.
I mean, what would you tell people if they were going to go for the pouch surgery? What would you say, in your personal opinion? Just go for the stoma and don't do the pouch, or go for the pouch and...
I would say don't do it. But that's because I had such a horrible time with it. Yeah, I've met people that have had, like, 2 of my friends. One of them lives in like Newcastle. He's very sick, but his isn't his pouch. He's in and out of London all the time, but it's not his pouch, and it's not his colitis or anything. It's very different. He has had pouchitis, and it went away. My friend down in Cambridge, he has a pouch, and other than having some fistulas, he's fine. And they both had theirs done when they were 14, so they had theirs 7 years longer than me, because they were 14, I was 21. But theirs are absolutely fine. And theirs both were down to colitis. So I know it's not very often done for Crohn's in comparison to colitis, but do your research.
I don't understand though with a pouch, because what are they actually using to make your pouch? Because obviously both
small bowel.
They only use a small bowel.
Yeah, that's why it's used more for colitis, because you can't have colitis in the small bowel unless you have it attached, still active disease in your rectum, which is where it then goes into the pouch.
Yeah.
Hi, Natalie.
Hello.
Hi,
10 minutes left, woman. 10 minutes.
Oh, don't. I absolutely hate referencing. It's a headache. It really has. But it is done.
Yay.
Hooray.
Whoop, whoop.
Elbow's about to bloody drop off. It's sort of been sat in this position and now won't really move very much.
Oh, dear.
We were just talking about pouch, whether you would have it or not. So Richard was just about to say what advice he would give people on having it.
So I think my advice would be, I wouldn't say to someone don't have it. I would be quite happy to share my experience. I would point them to some people I know who have had positive ones. There are some people on the Ileostomy and Internal Pouch Association forum who will say how great their pouch has been. what I would recommend though is that they try and get themselves to a centre like St Mark's in London or John Radcliffe in Oxford somewhere, or find a surgeon who is doing a lot of pouches, because then, you know, this isn't just my view, but various other people will think that there should be fewer centres doing more operations, even if that means people have to travel further. Because
if you're going to get the speciality, then yeah, why not?
Absolutely. And for something like the internal pouch operation, you know, that is pretty specialist, although they are becoming more common. It would be better to have fewer people doing it, doing more of them, and hopefully then you would see better outcomes for patients. But obviously that's a very individual thing, because actually if your support network is where you live, and that's where your surgeon is, and that's where you're, you know.
Did you have a temporary ileostomy though with your pouch?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And it was a nightmare.
Richard,
I didn't, so that's why I think mine failed so badly. Richard,
just out of curiosity with yours, and obviously you're still having the open wound issues because of the Ken butt. Do you think that possibly the problems with the pouch could be what has contributed to that not healing?
I don't think so. I mean, the reason that mine failed was there was this collection of sepsis, behind the pouch. So the theory is that there was some kind of oh, hang on.
I'm choking him.
Oh, bless him.
There we go. So that there was some kind of leakage at some point in the journey, and this is where this had come from. So when they did the bowel diversion, they cleaned it all out and left the pouch in situ to just kind of to try and rest it. Maybe it would be recoverable at that point. That sepsis came back, which presented as kind of arthritis. So they, you know, we got rid of that then and everything out. And scans have shown subsequently that sepsis hasn't returned. Maybe there was something deep rooted that has caused the healing issues. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know really. But it's
Richard, how old's Jonah?
Jonah, he is 3 now.
So how can you, as an adult with a toddler who's no doubt watched Moana bunches of times, say diversion and not go diversion? How can you do that? How can you not say it in the voice of Tomatoa? Because I'm really, really impressed, and I want to know your secret.
I don't know.
Because I can't do it.
You can't say diversion without
sounding like Tomatoa, yeah. From Moana.
I tell you what, though, one thing with Jonah is we don't always get to watch things to the very end.
The whole film, yeah.
Yeah. So I've watched the start of Moana loads of times. I think I've only maybe seen the end once.
I got the start of Paddington the other day.
I was actually really impressed with that.
I was really enjoying it, but the kids just got a bit bored and they wanted to do their jelly bath, so.
Easy. 101 Dalmatians, both the film and the Disney movie. I know the script off by heart. I also remember 101 Dalmatians.
Oh God, Stephen had that on for Lyribeth the other day.
And then Aristocats. If that comes on, I actually sit there humming the tune in the background because I know it off by heart. And the other one with Maisie was when she was going through her Peter Pan phase. I think she's actually worn out the Peter Pan Disney DVD. Then she upgraded to Hook. And then there was
in our house it's Frozen, annoyingly. she hated it the first time she ever saw it, and now she loves it. And Moana, and then if Stephen and I get half a chance, it's things like Peter Pan, the Aristocats, Robin Hood, because Robin Hood. Oh my God, I love it.
I can't sit through Robin Hood anymore.
Or Mary Poppins. Lyribeth is obsessed. Like there's somewhere in the mass of my Instagram, like there's a video of Lyribeth singing Let's Go Fly a Kite when she was like 18 months old.
Maisie's got a thing for Wizard of Oz at the moment, and Dorothy. I refuse to watch it.
Oh, you mean it? That's amazing.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it because she starts dancing, and I just can't do it. There's a lot that I will sit down and I'll watch with her, but I can't do Wizard of Oz. I can't do Wizard of Oz. I didn't like it as a kid, so I don't like it as an adult. End of. Oh, so, oh, Jesus, my brain has gone, hi, Nat. Awkward silence.
Like, bless him.
Oh, but, Moana, yeah, Moana, don't even get me started on that one. Cadence, my niece, does not stop watching it. And the other one that she likes at the moment is Sing.
Oh,
Oh, that's
yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, I really liked that.
And then the next best one is Trolls.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Oh,
I don't mind Trolls.
Some
I
of the
can
songs
sit
are
there,
alright.
go through the music and have a little bit of a jig. I don't mind that one too much. Paw Patrol, I hate.
Oh, we had that on today. I hate Paw Patrol.
Oh, we watched a bit of Paw Patrol. Peppa Pig, Mike
We don't
the
watch it
Knight,
in our house.
Ben and Holly's
Peppa Pig has
Little Kingdom.
Peppa Pig has an attitude problem.
Yes.
Yeah, my mum was not impressed with Peppa Pig. She was like, "This is very." She was not happy.
Same with Henry Huggle Monster. That's also very and Sophia the First. That's very stroppy. And
Okay.
Lyra Beth likes Nella the Princess Knight at the
You
moment.
wait until
Horrid Henry.
Lyra Beth hits the MLP stage. If she hits the MLP stage, I can give you coping tips on how to get through it.
My Little Pony. Oh, she's already into that because I got her into that.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of that, and it's not like I remember when my sister used to watch it.
No,
Yeah.
it's not, is it?
No, it really isn't.
we did that.
They
The other
should
day.
bring back Gummy Bears.
Did you see
Gummy
the
Bears was
remake?
amazing.
They remade Care Bears. Care Bears
Yeah,
are like,
Really?
awful.
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
they are so freaky. They remade Care Bears. I remember Care Bears, and I actually still have a video of my Care Bears because me and my brother have issues. My mum kept her videos, and the other one was Pound Puppies with Big
Oh,
Paw.
yeah.
Oh, I remember that. I remember. I
Yeah.
used to watch the
We-
X-Men.
Me and Harrison me and my brother were actually fighting over that video, and who was going to get it. It was literally a tug of war.
Oh my word! Who won?
He did. Git.
Oh,
He has bigger muscles than me. He bench presses things. So I tried to get it on DVD, and you cannot get it on DVD anywhere. I have searched high and low on Amazon and eBay.
Yeah, but
I
you
find it.
can't get Daria on DVD in this country either. Believe me, I've tried.
I used to watch that.
what else
I
did
love
we?
Daria.
What else did we come across the other day? Dora the Explorer, but it's not. It's not the original Dora the Explorer.
The
It's some
teenage
kind of.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird stuff.
What was the thing I never used to watch? Let Maisie watch In the Night Garden, because I'm sorry, but that is freaky. Nothing speaks. It
Oh
just
no,
speaks.
I like In the Night. We went
I
to see
don't
In the
mind
Night
that.
Garden live.
Oh, God.
That was
And what
amazing.
was-
In the Night Garden live.
What was the other one that I wouldn't let her watch? I think it was Waverloo. I remember the
Oh,
Tweenies.
My nephew used to watch all of it.
Oh, I remember.
Anyway.
Oh, somebody's actually said, who remembers Tots TV?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I reckon Natalie's got a minute to tell us why she thinks naming your stoma is a good idea.
Mm.
I think it's a good idea because you can swear it. Mine's being a bugger at the moment. I know the whole thing about accepting it's part of you, but I almost see it the same thing. And I don't know, I literally named it straight away. And I think one of the big things as well is it helped my kids.
I
They
think
refer to it as standing.
we can't hear Nat.
You not hear me?
You're very quiet.
But yeah, I think my kids have taken it on really well, and naming it definitely helped them to sort of come to terms with it. I think it's less medical for them and less scary because of Stanley. So that was probably another one of the big reasons. They sort of helped me pick its name and whatnot.
Why Stanley?
Because I have a think about things beginning with the same letter. So it had to be S and Stoma. And me and my mum decided that, and don't hate me, I'm not a man hater, but we decided that men are full of shit. So it had to be a man's name. So it became Stanley.
The amount of people that have Stanley as well is quite impressive.
There
Sorry.
is
The amount of people that have named it Stanley.
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you. I think Jacob's had the headphones, Steffi. But yeah, I think it's sometimes easier and better to have it named at times.
Yeah.
The amount of people that have named it Stanley is unreal.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I know at least 3 others, I think.
Was it Gucci? Louis Vuitton was another one.
That Louis Vuitton.
Winnie's quite a big Stella. They're all like way back when we started, because I spent like my entire day listing the names that people had put.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember doing them in alphabetical order as well. But no, Winnie, Louis Vuitton, Bertie the Bastard. Now it's after 9 o'clock. There's a few people that have called theirs quite profane names, so I won't go into all of those. But general consensus was, even with the polls that I rolled out this week, it was literally an 89 versus 89% for yes and 11% for no. I think all in total, I think across all the polls that I did, over 450 people took part, and it was pretty much people, yes, they named it, versus the 50 that said no, they didn't name. Oh, and there was a random 3 people. I did actually throw one out there on one of the polls and did actually turn around and say who names their stoma, and some people decided to answer that one as well. So yeah, it was a. I think most stoma nurses, obviously your GI consultants won't, but most stoma nurses will say to you that sometimes before the op, that's naming it or giving it a name just in the early days is a coping mechanism to help you.
Mine asked if I'd named it or thought about naming it pretty quickly after the op.
And I had my name prepped before I went. I don't know why I called it Bertha. I think I called it Bertha in the end because I had a different name. But when I saw it, because I still had the bridge, mine was really swollen and it was just big. And for some unknown reason, I just thought Big Bertha, and that is how it got the name Bertha, because it was just huge after the surgery. Because they don't tell you that, do they, when you have the surgery done, that it is going to be.
I would have called if I was going to have called mine anything, mine just looked like a giant red button sat on my stomach, because mine's quite small. Mine doesn't protrude out like everyone else's. Well, Natalie's seen mine.
Yeah.
It's quite flush to the skin.
But then you couldn't have called him Button.
No, I couldn't. No, little bun.
Right. Now, do you know what we're doing next week? Because I think you doing the topics now, aren't you, for February?
Was it Young Carers, or have we done that one?
No, that Young Carers Day was today, which I was going to mention, but obviously I came on late. But I was going to do about using disabled toilets, because it's been quite in the news.
Yeah.
I might pick another one to run alongside in case we can't talk about that for the whole hour, but that's going to be the. So, do you use them? Yes or no? Can't wait cards. The keys. Have you ever had any issues getting into disabled toilets? Had issues with people saying stuff?
There is a trick with the disabled toilets. Did you know most of the time when they're locked, but they're locked because no one is in there, it's white. If it's locked and it's red, then don't go in.
I've had people walking on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people don't know. They think because the red button's on, they think. Yeah, no.
I always knock now, because it happened to me, and then I realised the whole door situation, it doesn't lock from people using their keys. But
I've had that happen as well. So when they walk in and you're standing with your back turned, emptying it down the toilet, you turn around and you're not male.
Small children, I don't get asked, even if I don't get questioned, because I've always got a pram or a child with me. So I will cross that bridge when I come to it.
Okay, right. We're going to say goodbye and good night for this evening, because it is now 9:05 and people need to go and get their rest and everything else. And I'm actually doing Sweet FA tomorrow, and hopefully staying offline and not having to do any work. Yay me! So I'm going to say good night for this evening. Nat?
good night.
You say night, Steph. Say
Good night, everyone.
Richard, thank you.
No worries.
Say bye.
Bye.